Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Social Good Conferences. These are where we have conversations for social good. What's exciting about our conversation today is we're talking to an individual who's had a long career in history serving our country. One of the things when we look at the importance of safety and security is that everybody needs safety and security. And there's different ways that we create that, manage that, and handle that. I think that's super exciting. So everybody, let's meet the speaker, Evan Smith. He's an Army veteran and he is just phenomenal. I met him through the fibromyalgia community. And thank you, Evan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and who you are?
Yeah, so my name's Evan. I have been an Army veteran, retired medically for several years now. Have a wife and two little boys. Have been an outdoorsman, an avid conservationist, a very devout Christian and disciple, and have just used the outdoors as much as I can to be able to balance out all the different medical issues and the chronic issues that we all go with, and just trying to work through those things together, finding some solutions, finding ways to actually move forward with life, and find a better quality of life with all the different things that are going on.
Everybody can suffer. And so one of the things I think is really critical is, kind of understanding for each person, why do you work? What is that motivation for you? You do have suffering, and that is challenging, right? To wake up when your body doesn't feel good. So, what's it for you? Why do you work?
I had to go through so many different channels and just become my own advocate when everything kind of blew up. And that's not something that I was used to as far as in the medical community. When in the military, we drive forward and the outdoors, you practice and you do the best you can to become the best sportsman or conservationist that you can as well. But I wasn't used to that in the medical side. So I ended up having to just jump through hoops, meet with different doctors, really bring prepared materials to my doctor meetings, and I just didn't feel like I was being heard, and struggling through that for years, trying to get actual medical help and the medical attention that I needed to actually get my life back. I know there's so many other people that are out there going through the same things, and honestly, some of them may not have as strong of a voice. And so I've really now become very passionate about trying to help other people get the help and the service they need, because not everybody's born to be a bulldozer and to just kick down doors. But when it comes to your medical health and the things that you need, you have to be your own advocate. And if you don't have somebody else helping you or rooting for you along the way, you may just stay miserable, to be really, really honest.
How you've had to adapt, it's really admirable, but it's also like innovative because you've been able to figure out ways, um, you know, manage what you have, right?
Right.
What would you say your top three lessons are?
The person that I am now, we all like to compare ourselves to the person that we used to be prior to whatever illness or chronic situation that we're dealing with. And we always compare ourselves. We always feel like we're less than because we're now this new person, or we're the person that has the affected condition. And understanding that person A, the person before you were sick, person B, the person that got sick and is kind of at their bottom. You don't have to be either of those people. It's time to be person C, and you can really do a lot of great things. And I think it's about embracing what's happened to you, taking that strength with you, and carrying that as wisdom. I mean, that's something that you can learn from everything you've gone through. Don't waste it. And so learn to really appreciate the new person that you are, because you have new wisdom and new knowledge that you didn't have before the situation. So, with all the different physical constraints that we go through, all the different chronic pain or chronic illnesses or chronic conditions, what I don't think I was prepared for was the mental weight of all of those different things and the way that they just wear you down. So, again, if you think about lesson one, you're always comparing yourself to the person that you used to be and feeling inadequate, not feeling as good as you are, not feeling as good as you were. And the big part of that is that it just continues to wear you down. And you get yourself to a point where you've got to make a decision, and truly it's up to you at this point. Are you going to move forward and find a way to deal with what's happening, or are you going to continue to decline mentally? Because those are really your options. And so finding mental outlets for me, that's been probably one of my biggest opportunities to actually be able to make it through this and feel like I kind of brought myself back up. Finding those mental outlets for me, being outdoors, being able to go for a walk in the woods, being able to go watch birds, go watch wildlife, to be able to teach my kids about trees and what leaves are and what plants are, and how we can protect wildlife and the ways that we manage populations. Those are some of my favorite things. Those outlets for me, those really have pulled me out and allowed me to make a decision. I've got this chronic condition, and am I going to let it tear me down and continue to own me, or am I going to make a decision that says, "Hey, I'm here. This is the situation, and it's not great, but I'm going to move forward and lift myself back up somehow." So, lesson 3 is about advocating for your medical care. While we go through all these challenges, and again, like I said, you might have a lot of doctors that don't put the pieces together. They don't think outside the box the way that we need them to. Or they may just not have the experience with the advanced conditions or chronic conditions that you have. And so learning ways to be able to advocate for yourself. We're not out here to be Google keyboard warriors, just Googling your symptoms and all this other stuff. It really takes time to get in and invest, get in and do the real research. Look at academic sources, look at .org sources or .med sources, and find yourself a community. There are so many communities online that actually I feel like are a big piece of why I became an advocate. Because as I was going through this mess and just my body was shutting down and all these different things were happening, I didn't understand what it was. And so there's all these other people, and you can get in an organization where people just complain. And then there's other organizations where people are saying, you need to stand up for yourself. You need to become your own advocate. You need to take written materials into your doctor's appointments. For me, with fibromyalgia and some of the rheumatoid issues and some of the other issues that I suffer with, fibro fog, or that mental fog, is a real situation. It's a real issue for me. So I need to prepare before I go to the doctor. I want to make sure I have everything written down that I want addressed. I'm there on their time. I'm here paying them for their time, and I expect to get a result with them looking into my medical treatment and my medical concerns. And so bringing in written documentation, this is what I want. These are my concerns, and making sure that they really follow through with those things. And if they deny, that care, having the courage to come back in and say, I requested this and I would like to see what you're doing about it. And if they don't do anything about it, you roll on to the next doctor. And so being an advocate for yourself is extremely important. Taking the knowledge that you've learned and realize that it's an opportunity. And I know that's really hard to think about, that the struggle you're going through could be an opportunity, but it truly is. Keeping yourself mentally prepared for these kinds of things, and getting out there to understand that there's other people. And so reach out to people on the internet, reach out to people in the local community that have gone through some of these different things. And truly, for me, one of the greatest things that's lifted me out of the muck and mire has been my faith. And so knowing that these things that I've gone through, the way I think about it is, what if I went through these things so that I could be prepared to help the next person behind me? I can't relate to you to help you if I haven't struggled myself. I can't try to help you get help if I haven't had to figure out how to get help myself. If I wasn't stuck in bed, I wouldn't know that mental struggle that you're going through. And so what I really take away from all of this is, as hard as it is, it's an opportunity, and just keep digging in and keep pushing, because what you're going through could truly, one, you're going to get out of it. Number two is you're actually going to be able to pull other people out and lead other people and help support other people. And the more that we do this in our community, the stronger that our medical care is going to be, and the more that they're going to understand what we need as patients with diverse conditions.
I think you are such a cool example. I watch your Instagram. I see your adventures at time to time. What would you call people to action? What do you want people to do after this?
I think the biggest thing, get out into nature. You've got to get out and get some fresh air. It's absolutely proven that we get these endorphins released as we're out exercising or getting out. And I understand, well, I'm stuck in bed, I'm miserable. I understand that. This is where you've got to figure out, how am I gonna overcome this? And for me, getting out into nature, I'm a naturalist, and that's honestly where I feel the closest to God. That's where, when I'm in the woods, I feel at peace. It's amazing what you can find at your local bird feeder at the park. Just sit there and watch the birds. Just enjoy it and just see the beauty and the miracles, and just focus on something else. Besides your condition, to be able to distract yourself and to get outdoors.
So these have just been some great lessons. And one of the things that we're doing here at the Social Good conferences is identifying speakers for social good. And this is important because when you look at all of the negativity and all the other messages that are out there, it'd be really easy to just give up. And Evan is a great example of somebody who is executing on life principles and different means to be able to improve his health, but also be there for his family and community. So thank you, Evan, for what you do. Thanks for being a speaker. And I appreciate you taking the time to share about your intimate experiences with pain and suffering. And I know that other people will as well. So thank you for joining.
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for attending the Social Good conferences. These have been Conversations for Social Good. They've been presented by Tomasito Media and Buddytown Consulting.